Hi there. Today is going to be a little something different. Today it's all about Saturn. It's all about Saturn and the Cassini-Huygens mission, which was launched in 1997 and finished over 3 years ago. That's right. Finished 3 years ago. This is the Cassini-Huygens probe. Now the Cassini-Huygens probe was sent back in 1997, and it was sent to study Saturn, and a probe, which is this one here, a lander, was sent to Saturn's moon, Titan. Now, Titan is a moon which is exactly like Earth, but way in the past, way in the past. This probe was sent again back in 1997. Now, the characteristics of this probe is extremely interesting. And I'll tell you why. You see these 3 aerials right here? Well, they were for the radiometry or scanning of the entire planet. Say supposing the actual thing wanted to have a look at the interior of Saturn. Well, these three aerials would scan into the actual area itself. Now, this instrument here is called the radiometry. Radiometry means that there was to send radio waves down through the planet and scan for its properties. The lander was for Titan, one of the moons of Titan. Now, what this probe discovered was very unique. It found different aspects of the moon, Mars, and Earth all rolled into one very interesting surface. Now, this radio dish was also to send scanning particles through the atmosphere and see they bounce back. So the particles sent from the particle gun, which is just here, that there is a small particle gun. That small particle gun was to send particles into the atmosphere and see if they bounce back. If they bounce back, that means it's a more denser atmosphere. If they go through, it means that it is a non-dense atmosphere. Well, the particle gun sent particles through the atmosphere. It didn't bounce back. It went through and hit the surface. So they knew that it was a less dense atmosphere than it is here on Earth. Now, Earth is made up of, Earth's atmosphere is made up of both hydrogen, oxygen, and helium. Well, hydrogen and helium is the atmosphere to Huygens. Well, that Huygens detected as Huygens was slowly descending into the atmosphere of Titan. Did you know that Huygens was the very first probe to be, well, the first lander to go to Titan? The farthest landing they ever attempted. That was the first thing they ever attempted, was that. The very first ever landing on a very far distant moon. Now, these signals that come from here, which is Earth, to Huygens and back, through the speed of sound and light, would take about 2 weeks to get from here over there and then there back to us. So it's a very big distance this thing had to do. And how this probe traveled from here to Saturn is extremely interesting. Let me tell you. Number one, Huygens had to do what you call gravity assist travel. Now, here's the Earth, and my finger is Huygens, or Cassini. First, Cassini had to go, and so here's my hand, and my phone is Venus. Well, Cassini had to go from Earth to Cassini, slingshot around Venus, then come back to the Earth again. Slingshot around Venus again, and then come back to the Earth again. And then I had to slingshot around the Earth again to go to Jupiter, and then slingshot around Jupiter, then slingshot around Europa, from then Europa slingshotting enough speed to then get to Saturn. And it took 6 years for that probe to get from Earth to Saturn, because it had to go to Venus, then back to Earth again, and then back to Venus again, then back to Earth again. Then from Earth, it then went to the moon, slingshot around the moon. Then from the slingshot from the moon, went to Mars, then slingshot around Mars, then to Jupiter, slingshot around Jupiter, then a very big boost from Jupiter, from Jupiter's moons to of course, Saturn, in which it was going to send. Now, to slow it down, it had to go between gaps in the rings. This vehicle had to go here, between this lot of sparsely spread rings here. It had to go right at the equator so it could slow down and use its thrusters to slow down. So that's an extremely big amount of power to slow this thing down. Now, this thing was powered not by solar energy, but by nuclear isotope generators. The nuclear isotope generators are there, and here, and here. So they were So basically, this probe was effectively nuclear powered. That's right. This probe was effectively nuclear powered. And some of that nuclear power was transferred from here to the probe here. So that's a big thing for that to happen. Big thing. So this is Daniel Fisher with a little interesting video about Cassini-Huygens. I hope you've enjoyed it.